All right, guys, got a fun little project for you today. We're gonna build a rain chain out of some chain and some buckets. So let me show you what we're gonna do. First off, for these to work correctly, I need to go through here and drill some holes. And so what we're gonna do is, since these are gonna be hanging kind of at an angle, I wanna drill holes on the one side. So this is our pivot point right down the middle. So I'm gonna drop it right there, drill a few holes, make sure this drains correctly. So we're just gonna go 3 holes in each one of these, so that'll look really cool. And so that way when it hangs, it can drop down to the bucket below it. So we'll just keep going through. I've got about 6 or 7 of these here. I didn't want to do a bigger hole on this because I want this to have the structural integrity. These are thin enough. If I go with a big drill bit, we're gonna have a mess, probably tear the bottom of the bucket up because they are nice and light. Cool thing is you can also fine tune these later. You can add some more if you want this to drain a little bit faster. Let's start out with these 3 like this. I jumped online and got some metal chain here. Now this is what you'd see to hang an exterior light fixture with. So we want to get something that's going to be metal that we can bend, and I'll show you how. I'm going to go down here about 15 inches. We're going to take this first loop right here. We're going to bend this. Just like that, so we can get this bucket in here. And then we're gonna bend it right back. So that way, we can have these come down the side here, and when they fill up with water, they're gonna tilt just like this. We're gonna go down each side and kind of alternate these, one on either side of this chain as we go. So I'm going to put these about 15 inches apart. There's our next one right there. That should give us enough to let the water run down the chain and in the buckets. Slow the water down a little bit. I just covered my pliers with some electrical tape. Masking tape works too. I just don't want to chew the paint up on this. There's a couple different ways you can bend this chain. I like just using a couple pliers because they do move pretty good. Sometimes these things can get stuck like this one where they didn't really, they kind of glued them together almost with the paint. I'm gonna leave this a little long so that way if we had this going into a any kind of a drain system or down, you could kind of fasten it off and tie it off. All right, let's see how it looks. All right, let's go hang it up, test it out. All right, guys, today I'm gonna show you my tips and secrets to how to mix up a bag of concrete the easy way. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna start out putting about half the bag in here before we put some water in. All right, I'm just gonna open up the end of this. Try to do this without making too much dust. Once I get about half of that in there like that, gonna set this off to the side. We'll add that back in a minute. Now here's the secret. The back of the bag, it says you need exactly 2.5 quarts of water. So I love these little mixing pails like this because you can mix it up right in here. I've got enough in this bucket right here. So we're gonna add about half of this water to this. Then you can use a hoe, a shovel. I've got just a simple trowel right here. We're gonna mix this up really well. That way we can get all of this. We don't want any dry pockets. That's the key to this, is if you have those dry pockets, that's a weak part of the whole mix, and you're gonna have some problems with it. So especially if you're making something nice, if you're doing some repairs or building a little bit of a slab, you want this to be perfect. All right, we've got that mixed. Let's add the rest of the water to this. I'm just gonna keep mixing this up, just getting to be where it's a little soupy. So now what I wanna do is add the rest of this bag in. Still got some more water. I don't want to add any more until I realize that I've got no pools of water in the middle of this, because right now we're still pretty much a dry mix. And sometimes you just need to add more water, but let's see where we're at first. Yeah, we need to add some more water, so I brought some more here. I'm going to add about a pint. We don't want to get too crazy because then all of a sudden we get something that's too soupy and you lose the strength of that concrete mix. So this is why this works for doing one bag, but there's a lot better ways to be doing this. with bigger projects. I'm liking that. That's a nice, not too wet of a mix. And that's how we mix up concrete so it's not too soupy or not too dry.